Let's make some super simple game day pretzel bites. You could dip these in marinara or eat them just the way they are. I'm gonna use my electric mixing bowl for this, but you can absolutely do it by hand. I'm gonna add 1.5 cups of warm water, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, or you can use white, 2.25 teaspoons of this traditional dry active is what I use. Also equals to one of those little packages. I'm gonna give it a really good whisk here and then let it sit on the counter for 5 minutes. This allows the yeast to rise. I actually find it really fascinating to watch. You get to just see it rise and become all frothy and bubbly. This is what it'll look like. Don't continue if your yeast hasn't done this. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of salt. Apparently all I have is this sea salt. I have about 1/4 cup of melted butter. Now we're gonna add anywhere from 3.5 cups to 4 cups of all-purpose flour, but I'm gonna do half and then half. So I'm gonna add 2 cups. I'm gonna use my Cuisinart. Now I'm gonna add 3 cups. Now I'm gonna add about 3/4 of another cup. So 3 cups and 3/4 of a cup, and we'll start with that and see where we get. I'm thinking I should have added just a little less of flour, but it'll work. Oh no, that's perfect. So that was 3 cups and 3/4 of another cup. That's absolutely perfect. Perfect amount. So this is how our dough looks. It's so soft. It's so fluffy. I'm gonna put it back into the bowl. I'm gonna cover it and I'm gonna place it somewhere warm to double in size about an hour. So this is how the dough looks right now. This is how the dough looks now. I might have let it overproof. I'm gonna separate this into maybe like 5 little bundles. I'm not really sure. Now I'm gonna roll each of them out. Now I'm gonna cut them into little bite-sized pieces. I'm gonna add them all to a cookie tray lined with some parchment. Now I'm gonna continue with the rest of the dough. This is gonna make a lot. I got 2 cookie trays full. Now we're gonna throw them into some boiling water. I have no idea how much water I put in here. I'm just gonna sprinkle it with some baking soda. If you don't wanna use baking soda, you could always use honey. Maybe like 1/4 cup. Probably shouldn't use metal in this pan. Because this recipe made so many pretzel bites, we're gonna have to do this in a couple of batches. I definitely need to get a pot for my hot plate because I'm using a frying pan, but that's all I got. I'm just gonna gently push them under the water. They really only need like 60 seconds. Now I'm gonna remove them and put them back on the parchment paper. And we're gonna throw them in the oven after we brush them with egg wash. Okay, I got 1 tray done. I'm gonna put it to the side and we're gonna boil the rest. I'm gonna brush all of them with an egg wash. This is what gets the tops nice and golden brown. I'm gonna sprinkle them with some of this sea salt. These are going into the oven at 350 degrees. I have no idea how long they're gonna take, so I'll let you know at the end. Our pretzels are almost done. Let's make some cheese sauce. I'm gonna add a couple tablespoons of butter. Now I'm gonna add a couple tablespoons of flour now that our butter is melted. Just gonna mix the 2 of them together. Gonna add some milk. I'm gonna turn the stove off and slowly add in a little bit of cheese at a time. The simplest cheese sauce. I use this cheese sauce for like macaroni and cheese. It's so versatile. It'll literally go in anything. So these baked at 350 degrees for about 15 minutes. They are cooked perfectly. They're chewy. They're absolutely delicious.
In the course on the other side.
Those are so good. A perfect appetizer for Super Bowl. I'm going for Taylor Swift.